Welcome to December. This is Michael Saul with the Stock Market Trading Watch List for Thursday, December 1st, 2011. Here's a 5-minute chart of what happened on Wednesday. Now, this is the S&P cash, so we didn't trade up like this with one bar. It looks more like, well, it looks exactly like this, not more like. It looks exactly like this, which is this is the daily S&P futures. So we gapped up big, barely pulled in, pushed up higher, all right, and then it's like ran right into 11 o'clock, and it was like everybody's like, all right, let's hit the bar, let's do shots. And it looks like they all went to an early lunch, and then they came back, or they staggered back in and said, what are we doing? Let's buy the clothes. I'm sorry, I'm imitating a drunk person. Don't mean any offense to anybody. But you can see here we ripped it higher into the close and closed basically at the highs. Okay, so looking at the daily chart, you can see we are now looking at the 200-day moving average as the first level to pay attention to once the chart comes back. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. So, okay, there we go. So the 200-day moving average now is the next level to watch here on the upside. And right around there, we also have a potential triangle break to the upside. So let's take a look at this triangle again. Let's revisit it. We broke down. We came into support. We were oversold. We got the bounce. All right. And I think I went over on Monday, I think I went over 5 scenarios. Okay, so let's knock them out one by one. The immediate tank back down after Monday, that didn't happen. The lunge into resistance and then the tank back down, that didn't happen. The push into resistance and then the pullback that doesn't hit the new low here, which is what I thought was high probability, that didn't happen. So one of the lower probability scenarios, in my opinion, happened, which is we just ripped it higher. Now, of course, it came with the pause day in between, so technically we didn't rip it the very next day, but still, I mean, I didn't really put a lot of weight into this scenario. The two least likely, in my opinion, was this one, and the least likely was just a tank after Monday's action. But, that's fine. I mean, we had a couple of different scenarios. Anybody who's going to sit here and say they knew this was going to happen, I mean, it's just absolute nonsense. All right, this was news that the central banks are all banding together to provide a big giant band-aid. And yeah, if I sound cynical and skeptical, I don't think this is a long-term cure for this. All right, I was reading today, and I really just, I'm not a big news guy, especially when it comes to geopolitical stuff. I really don't care. I go mostly off of the charts, but I've been mixing in some potential other things into the mix, not just, okay, the chart is always right, which, a lot of the classic diehard technical analysts will say, but, then they'll always go off quoting news. But anyway, I was reading that Italy has to start paying the money back in a couple years, and they're not going to have it or whatever. So I don't know. Look, to me, this looks like this kind of move cemented this short-term low for now. The question is, can we get a breakout here above the 200-day and above this triangle now? We went to the downside now. Can we have a pendulum move back up? We have the 78.6% retracement of the range on the year. I still think that could cause a stutter step. So, one step at a time here. Let's get over the 200-day. Let's get the triangle breakout, and let's see what we do at this 78.6% retracement. It is not too late to try to test the highs on the year. I mean, great. When we were back here and I was saying it, I felt confident right here. I mean, we're already very short-term overbought here. I mean, this was a huge, huge move, and I'm looking for some consolidation before we try to power through. I think if we try to power it through on Thursday straight up, maybe off a gap down or something, a nice gap down maybe, but if we just gap up and keep going, I'm going to be watching that 200-day for resistance. All right, but if we gap down and then trade higher, well, maybe there's a chance for that to stick. Okay? So that's my feeling as of right now for the market. Here's the NASDAQ 100, different look. Friday we have the job numbers. So actually, if today was a boring day, well, no chance of that once I saw the big gap. I was actually not going to even do a video for Thursday. I was just going to write a note saying, look, let's wait, see what happens, and then maybe we'll reanalyze things the day of the job numbers or over the weekend after the job numbers have already been released into the market. So, but obviously with a move this size, a video, in my opinion, was required. Hang on one second. We're not updating that quick here. All right, so here we go. Back over the 200-day, barely, but back over it. All right, a reversal of this diamond would have to come above this 2320.81 number. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see if we can get a little pop here. And once again, I mean, I was looking for the NASDAQ 100 to test the highs up here. Obviously, this is definitely a little kink in the line. So let's see if we could rally up and get a pendulum on this too. Okay, break that high and then break out above this high. All right, and then it would be a diamond move to the upside. But we'll see. Russell, yeah, nice big move, nearly 6%. Watch that 200-day. Still haven't gotten over that since we broke down through it in, what is this, late July, early August. Look at some sectors real quick. There's the semiconductors, 89 EMA, potential resistance. Banks, yeah, up 7.2%. Wicked. Goal line stand at the 78 point. I know charts don't work, right? I'm being sarcastic, obviously. And I know this is all about the dreams you have. You know, I dream about a stock moving and gut and feel, and I'm obviously really laying it on pretty thick, laying the sarcasm on. But I mean, this is just beautiful when you see the charts hold like this. The S&P holds the 62, the banks hold the 78.6. I got to get going here, though. Got to get above 40 to really get this sealed down. Is Bank of America. I mean, these charts are going to look, well, Bank of America doesn't even look that bad because of how close it was to $5. So this was a nice pop. But, you know, overall, it wasn't really a big move in the chart. Okay, it was a big move in price. And, you know, 37 banks downgraded Tuesday, and then Bernanke said, yeah, no, I don't think so. A little surprise for you. JP Morgan up 8%, 50-day next resistance. Northern Trust right at the 50-day. Bank of New York. Okay, right at the 50-day as well. Zion at the 50-day. Okay. Cyclicals. Yeah, nice pop on the cyclicals, up nearly 6%. Watch that high up at 950. Brokers, broker-dealer, into the 50-day. Goldman, of course. All right, nice reversal here to putting in a little hard bottom here. Watch the 50-day up at 98.71. Morgan. Watch the 50-day, like Mason. Okay, above the 50-day, watch the 89. All right, look at Alcoa. Just started looking at this one yesterday. 50-day moving average. Watch that. That's going to be short-term resistance. Caterpillar. Okay, back over the 200-day. Nice move. Wow, up nearly 8%. It's wicked. Okay, so right at the breakout point here. And if it can get above these highs, look for a move to the 103s. GLD. Okay, up 2%. SLV, the Silver Trust, up 2.8%, but smacking into the underside of this channel. OIL, yeah, closed below the open, not really ripping it up here, but so far an okay bounce off the 20 EMA. The OIH, watch the 89 EMA at 127. Some of the glamorous stocks. Apple, right into resistance here. $8.65, 2.32%. If you can get above this, watch that 50-day. Beautiful hold of the 200-day. Amazon, I mean, not really that great. You know, trading a little bit lower after hours here. It's got to get going here because you got resistance from the gap from the 200-day. And you have the 78.6%, the break of that, which suggests that we go to this low. All right, Google. Nice push. All right, let's see if it can retake the highs and test these highs. I mean, this should be a leader if we're going to rally here. It's been acting well. Baidu. Nothing special. Intel. Okay, Intel trying to go for new highs. This has been a pretty good bellwether for this for the market advance that we were seeing right before the dip down. But even on the dip, it's still maintaining a nice sine wave here pattern. See if we can get up to the highs and continue to go higher and lead the Nasdaq 100. Price line to the 10-day moving average. Ford. Yeah, nice move on Ford, 5.7%. Watch the 50-day moving average. Goal line stand here at the 78.6. Watch this 50-day as potential resistance. Las Vegas Sands. Okay, Las Vegas Sands right at the top of this channel we drew in the other day. Okay, so this is the bigger channel. Now we have the smaller channel inside the bigger channel. I mean, this could be ready to go here. All right, volume, nice volume. But remember, the market was up and the rising tide took basically all the stocks. I think only 10 of the S&P 500 stocks were down. So we have the job numbers on Friday. And after moves like this, I'm looking for some morning consolidation. I'm going to talk more about that in the S&P video, and you can check that out on my blog. It should be posted by the time you see this. All right, have a great trading day on Thursday. Talk to everybody again on Friday.